Okay. So, welcome in. I'm happy that I'm joined now by two awesome friends, Jackson Dunavant, who is in this area of my screen, and then Nick Lalpuis, the MC of UNT Athletics, who is right now at Apogee.
You're too kind. You're too kind. Thank you so much for getting this little virtual meeting going.
Yeah, man. I mean, we got to get content out, right? We don't stop.
Yeah.
We're the Mean Green.
Cop. Can I get a go Mean Green?
Go Mean Green.
Hey. It's my line.
That's more Pickles' line, but all right.
Hey, who?
Okay, so obviously
you're talking who?
All right. Okay, so obviously we are quarantined in screens because of social distancing because of coronavirus, and I mean everything's been affected, especially the sports world, where that's where we kind of make our money and that's where our livelihood is. So Jax, I'm gonna start with you. Like, where were you when the NBA was officially canceled? Like, what was going through your mind? Like, just where were you overall?
So that all took place during spring break, and I was lucky enough that I was out in East Texas in the boonies on a fishing trip. And I'm sitting in, I just got done going out and doing a little bit of morning fishing. I'd been on the lake for about 3 hours with no cell service. And I come back and it's just a ticking of ESPN of different basketball conferences just closing down their tournaments. And so it was all, nothing was going wrong to everything was dying.
I mean, all right, Nick, and then where were you when all this happened? What was your reaction to it?
Yeah, so we were working the Conference USA basketball tournament. So the first day, everything was going well. We had fans in at the Star. All the games were going. There was no problem. And I think later once we got toward the final games of that night, when Rudy Gobert got tested positive, then the conference made the call that, okay, well, the rest of the tournament is going to go, but no fans are going to be allowed. So the PA guys, during that last game on that first night, said, tournament's going to continue, no fans will be allowed. We got booed pretty heavily by the crowd. Next morning, we went in, everything was ready to go. I think we were about 5 minutes away from starting the first game. And then none of us were told. We heard the same as the other people in the arena. The PA guy said the conference tournament has been canceled. So we didn't have much of a heads up either. And literally there was 5 minutes on the clock before the first game was supposed to start, and they had made that call. So that was definitely interesting. And then we kind of hung around for about 20 minutes, and it was just very eerie because you had all the kind of like the construction workers started taking everything down. And the clock was still up, said, 5 minutes to go between UAB or whoever. So it was just very, very weird that it happened that quickly.
Yeah, I remember I saw your video on Twitter where it was just you like just videotaping the entire court, and there was nobody there, and it was just packed with all Conference USA fans, and now there was nothing. So for me, I was covering the Mavericks game. Night it all went down. So I was so excited because Boban was putting up like 30, and he was having the game of his career. And then right when you saw everything, it just went crazy. All the media people next to me were all just like, the season's canceled, and I see Mark Cuban freaking out, and it just went all insane. And then we went to the post-game conference. And then obviously Mark Cuban came and he gave his statement. It was just really eerie. Then all of a sudden the entire stadium was filled with these posters saying all Mavs games are canceled. And I was just like, wow, that was it. I mean, I do appreciate the NBA for just because in the back of my head I knew that sports world wouldn't take it seriously unless a player got the virus. And when someone got it, it was immediately like, okay, shut this whole thing down. And it's good that they did that, but. I mean, I think this should have happened a little earlier because I just think people weren't taking it seriously enough. But I mean, now that they are, now we're just in full quarantine.
Yeah, not just the sports world, but I think just pretty much the country as a whole didn't really take it too seriously at first, and I don't think they were well equipped for it. So, I mean, now we see. We'll see how long it lasts, but yeah, I mean that was a weird 24 hours for sure. And Yeah, now I'm taking any chance I can get to get out of the house.
Yeah, so and kind of moving on to that, like Jax, I'm gonna go with you. What have you been doing to kind of pass time now that like we can't leave our house?
So I decided so living in Denton, I knew it was going to be hit hard because any city that's got over 100,000 people are going to freak out. Grocery stores are going to be swamped. The day before I decided to leave Denton, I went to Winco, and it took me over 30 minutes to check out at 7 a.m.
Oh my god!
At the grocery store, and I got the opportunity to leave. I drove 3 hours east. I am on the lake, just outside. I'm about the closest city to me of over 50,000 people is 30 minutes away. So I am completely out in the sticks right now. Most interaction
but you're used to that. You're built for this, right?
I'm used to this. This is what I grew up with. And so, but it's amazing to see from going to Denton where everything is out of stock. You can't go anywhere in the city, or you have a threat of getting pulled over and getting fined or possibly getting arrested for breaking shelter in place. I'm out here in Franklin County where they have one confirmed case. That person isn't even in Franklin County. And the rest of the counties around us, the largest town out here is Tyler. And they're not even over 100 confirmed cases. So it's the complete opposite of how people are reacting here as opposed to how they are in the city.
Yeah.
And Nick, what about you? What have you been trying to do to pass time with no sports? Especially since you're like the lead MC for everything.
It hasn't been easy, Shaj. I'm gonna level with you. All right, it's not been easy. No, I mean I already had moved back home last year, so it's not too big of a change being stuck with my parents and sister at the house. I somewhat do schoolwork. I mean, now since everything's pass fail, like I don't have that much motivation.
There's
right
a
now.
Serious lack of motivation when you're like in your room, like when you're just at your house. You're just like, I can't do this.
I've got really no motivation. So
hence the quarantine beard coming in nicely.
I see that.
Yeah.
No, I can't. I gotta be clean shaven. I look terrible with facial hair, so no.
I figure why not? Why not try it? And then as of right now, I'm working for a summer league baseball team. The season's still planning to start. I've just got an email from them a few days ago. It's still scheduled to start on time, so I'm still working on prepping for that. So that takes up a good amount of time. And then I've been trying to teach myself guitar, which I'm sure my family loves me trying to pick that up right now when they're all stuck in the house.
I do see your Instagram videos. They are pretty good. Not too bad.
Full of U2 covers.
I mean, what else is it going to be? Yeah. It has to be U2, right?
Yeah, I'm going to do all of the complete U2, all of their
catalog.
Yeah, their catalog, because they got some great guitar parts, man. The Edge, are you kidding me? But I digress. But it's been interesting trying to keep sane, I guess, when you don't have too much to do.
Yeah, and like you even said that your main job is supposed to keep on schedule. I mean, that's kind of what I want to go on. How have y'all's jobs been affected? Because I know all of us used to be part where we all used to commentate high school games. I'm not part of that anymore, but I know you two still are. Jackson, I know you were you in the middle of lacrosse season or?
So we were already. So I was in the middle of planning out where I was going to go for games, whether it be Austin or Fayetteville or Dallas, to call for the MCLA lacrosse season. Whole thing got shut down. Schools. It was weird. The MCLA, Men's College Lacrosse Association, basically, without saying it, shut down the season before any of the conferences even got to give their input.
Okay.
So you saw teams out on the East Coast, the Florida area, they didn't cancel their seasons till about a week and a half ago, just because it was all kind of up in the air. Nobody knew what was going to happen. But for me, the teams that I call for are you have Texas is really the only one not in the Lone Star Alliance. They play a mostly mountain conference. They're playing Utah State, Colorado State. they were one of the last conferences to get canceled. Just
no,
because they are
Corona doesn't
isolated.
live well in the mountains. Doesn't like the altitude, I don't think.
It's that high.
You see how quiet it got, Nick? It got really awkward. That's how you know you shouldn't.
I'm glad that hasn't changed. Some sense of normalcy.
But the Lone Star Alliance,
right?
They canceled really quick. They were one of the first conferences to really come out against playing the rest of the season, and so that really took up the majority of the games that I would call. And so that killed lacrosse basically before it really even got started. Calling for UNT softball, that got canceled right away. I mean, it wasn't more than 3 or 4 days after the conference tournament got canceled that Conference USA came out and said all spring sports are canceled. And so before I even got a chance to call a game, everything got wiped clear. And so that really took that out. The last job I had was a retail job that you wouldn't even think about of selling sunglasses. People still were coming into the Cabela store that I work at to the point where our overall company of sunglasses had shut down our store before Cabela's even thought about closing. And they're still open, but our little area inside the store is gone. So I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about going into work anymore.
I understand why Cabela's is still open. Like, if you've got to get away from civilization, you need a tent, you need a bow, fishing pole.
So
that's
the Cabela's store in Fort Worth is the second largest in the country. They actually got shut down. They got shut down by the CDC as a non-essential business. And what happened was the Attorney General of the state of Texas said it was unlawful for people to not be able to go out and buy firearms. And so all firearm stores were reopened.
Wow. I mean, I just don't know why people. I understand how difficult it is to stay inside, but this is really important. I mean, there's a video that went viral of people playing volleyball at a park, and I'm just like, what are y'all doing? Just stay inside, because like my brother's a nurse, and he's talking about how he's dealing with coronavirus patients every day, and that it's hard every day to see that stuff. And then when he goes on the news and he sees that people are just going about their lives like nothing's wrong, it hurts him. And he's like, I just don't understand why this isn't sinking into people's heads. And I mean, it does too. I think, especially in the sports world, I think everybody who loves sports has truly said, everybody stay inside. I need football, because apparently football is supposed to be scheduled.
The sooner everyone gets it through their heads that if we stay hunkered down for 2 months or so, that's going to be a while, but that's a lot better than the alternative of still going out, and that's just going to drag this thing, and it's going to get worse when they run out of resources. So they got to get it through their head that it's better just to take 2 months or whatever, just hunker down, deal with it, and then we get out of this a lot sooner.
Right. And look, Nick, you said that you both work for UNT in terms of commentating and being an MC. I mean,
yeah, we do.
How disappointing is it that March Madness NCAA decided to not release the bracket, so we never got to really see UNT's name and the March. Nick, I'm gonna start with you. What was your reaction to that?
That's tough. Obviously, I mean, we thought. The mood around that team is they definitely had a really good chance of winning the conference tournament and going back to the big dance for the first time in 10 years. So not being able to actually play for that opportunity, this stinks. But I think that would have meant a lot. I'm not sure about to the players, because I think in their mind they know how good they were and they would have had a shot. But I think for these fans that have been waiting for a little while, since 10 years ago when they last made the dance, it would have been nice to have an official bracket put out with UNT put on that. So that was kind of tough, but I saw, people obviously put out their own brackets, and UNT was on a number of those, so that was nice. But it kind of hurt that there was no official bracket made, just to see that North Texas was on there. So, yeah. But what a good season, man. I told the former MC, Ashley, I don't know if you've heard of her, Ashley Pickle.
No, I haven't. Actually, I haven't.
But, they won the conference tournament, or their conference championship for the first time in 30 years, and that was when I was MC, So, call it a coincidence or anything, but I think I might have brought a little bit of good luck.
I think I'm going to call it.
Who knows, man? They may have gone all the way.
All right, Jackson. What was your reaction when they decided to release it?
That's a bold one. I don't know. Honestly, for me, it was hard. This was the first semester that I really had time to go to games and appreciate, the sports that UNT is providing. But, to be able to, even though I wasn't in Denton, to be able to watch, my team, my school on national television, to have that stripped away was a little bit of a gut wrencher, just because one, sports are being taken away, but two, when it's your school as a senior wanting to see my group do good while I'm still there, that absolutely killed me when it was taken away.
Nick, you're around the group. Like, can you just tell us what that team was feeling when they decided to not release it?
I haven't really seen them since that happened. But I'm sure they're very disappointed because they had a just a different feel just around the team as a whole. I mean, they really bought in to Coach McCaslin and really with each other. I mean, that group is something special. I mean, when you saw a senior day, we had three seniors. It was DJ Draper, Roosevelt Smart, and then we had Dean Goo. Dean didn't have any family here in the country, so when they introduced him, the entire team went out with them, and that was kind of, I think more or less how you could sum up how that team felt this year and the kind of chemistry that they had with each other, and that is going to be really tough to beat. And it hurts that we didn't get that name on the bracket, but I am very disappointed that the day we were supposed to play our first conference tournament game, that place, no doubt in my mind, that place would have been packed. And, that's a football area where they play Frisco high school football, and that place would have been packed with green for that game. So that's disappointing that the UNT fan base wasn't able to see a postseason game this year. But I tell you what, that team, they have a deep connection with one another, and it's a shame that it got cut a little too soon.
Yeah, and I think definitely it will keep them more motivated for next season because they're like, look, we got there, but we still need to finish it. In their mind, probably that season's just a scrap. They're just like, okay, look, that season didn't matter. Yeah, we made it, but at the same time, the whole point of it is to make the March Madness tournament. They technically did, but with no bracket release, it's like March Madness never happened. He's back.
This all still sucks, though.
He's back.
Oh,
what happened, buddy? Your phone died?
Yeah, phone was at 40%.
We didn't want you back.
Phone was at 40%. It died. Trevor gave me his portable one.
Trevor!
Now it's saying it's at 4%, so I don't know what's going on. Anyway.
Okay, so let's start the question over again. Okay, so Jackson, let me get your answer again. Okay, so with the virus going on, how is this going to change the future of sports? Will people embrace it more? Be not take it for granted anymore? How's it going to be?
I think we're going to see a big aspect of people just enjoying what they have. We saw a lot of this, and the mindset of unity got thrown around a lot, and you're seeing the commercials, the cheesy commercials on TV of people singing, and it's great to see. And a lot of it goes back to the same aspect we saw after 9/11. People are wanting to be together, hold tight, and just be strong throughout all of this. And I think we're going to see that in sports as well. Once the shelters in place all get lifted, people are going to want to be out in public at the stadiums and just enjoying what we have had taken away from us here for the last month, and will probably be for at least another month after this, and maybe even longer. But
it's going to be longer.
I think it will be longer, but that honestly raises some fears for me. People are going to be chomping at the bit to finally be able to go to the brand new Rangers Stadium that's opening up.
Yeah, you think
the problem with that is once people are free to go out and be amongst other people, I'm a little worried that this is going to get out of hand, and there's going to be so many people in these tight spaces that we might see another resurgence of the virus.
All right, Nick, and what about you?
People, I think, they're going to appreciate it more. It's going to be tough to find a ticket to sporting events, those are going to be sold out pretty quickly. I think, as a baseball guy, I think a lot more people who aren't necessarily diehard baseball fans, when this is all over, think they might enjoy baseball a little more and just enjoy the kind of slow pace going out to the ballpark on a it's probably not going to be July, but on a summer day, and just kind of enjoy being outside. I agree with Jackson that it's going to be packed those first games. I don't think there's going to be an empty seat. People are just going to miss it. But I do think this kind of is an opportunity for people kind of to second guess and kind of rethink some of the social norms when it comes to big spaces and stuff like basic hygiene, like cover your cough or your sneeze. That might be something that people take into account now. So it'll be interesting, but yeah, definitely those first couple of months, whenever it happens, if it starts with football in September, or if it's earlier, hopefully maybe some baseball, it's going to be packed out there. And I think it's going to be a very united feeling for everyone who's out there and everyone who will be watching at home.
Yeah, I mean, President Trump sat down with all commissioners, and he said football is supposed to start on time. So I definitely feel that's like their last hope, because football is the number one sport in America. So, I know, I definitely agree with that attendance is definitely going to go up, because I think people need to appreciate sports more, especially with the Rangers. I mean, obviously, Globe Life Park didn't have obviously the best attendance because there's so many games throughout the season. But now with the new field, it's going to be packed, and especially with Mavs games. Even though Mavs are doing great this season and they blew out all expectations, they weren't having fantastic attendance. They were having decent attendance, but not like what a team that is doing as great as they should, that they deserved. Football, I think football is just going to stay the same, because obviously people love the Cowboys. People are going to keep going to those games.
Boo, boo.
Okay.
Get out. Get out.
I mean, and especially, and for both of y'all,
break.
I think hockey attendance is going to go up too. All major sports are going to see major attendance, because people are not going to take this for granted anymore. Because when you take something away,
the Red Wings stuck at 15 wins. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Let's not go there.
I mean, what can you do? But yeah, I definitely see the appreciation for everything going to increase significantly, and I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon.
Obviously, things have been very interesting the past few months. I was so excited for opening day at the new ballpark to go with my dad. Like, that was going to be so awesome. And then I'm like, okay, well, all right, well, basketball's suspended, but hey, so far baseball's good. And then they're like, yeah, we're not sure when we're coming back. That was, for me,
I mean, you might as well, as a Rangers fan, it kills me to say this, but you might as well just let the baseball season go as planned. The Rangers weren't going to have a good enough year to have enough fans to not be able to have 6 feet between everyone. So you might as well just let them play.
Hey. Whoa,
this is just
they got some promising pieces, Mr. Donovan. They might have a very strong rotation.
I mean, look, this is just for safety. I mean, that's what you got to do. I mean,
of course.
The only two sports that are going on right now are UFC and then technically WWE, and they just finished WrestleMania yesterday on a 2-parter with nobody in the crowd. It was just the wrestlers. So, yeah. I mean,
look, I'm not trying to complain, because Lord knows I have it pretty good right now. There are a lot of people with a lot worse problems, but it stinks for me, and I'm sure everyone involved that baseball, basketball, and the hockey as well, is suspended or not starting. So it's a shame.
All right, guys. I appreciate you both enjoying this meeting. It was good to see y'all again.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, I mean, I need to have you on. I need to have the Lalpuis on here, otherwise it wouldn't have been a complete show. And I needed the Dunavant here too.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
Thank you. I appreciate the love.
All right. Virtual high fives.
Jackson, I forgot you were here. It's good to see you.
Virtual high fives. I hope to see y'all again soon. I hope y'all are safe.
No, it's elbows.
Oh, sorry. Elbows. We like
do good
perfect.
To see y'all.
All right. Good to see y'all. Hope y'all are safe. And then this was really fun. It felt
tell your brother I said thank you for all the hard work he's putting in.
Okay, I'll be sure to tell him that.
Thank you for big shout out to him.
Yep. All right, guys. Take care. See y'all next time.
That's Spanish for bye.